I have an announcement to make. I shaved my beard. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm also writing a novel. Hello everyone, my name is Thomas White and this is Thomas Writes. Today I am excited to announce that I will be participating in this year's National Novel Writing Month, also known as NaNoWriMo. It is an event that takes place primarily online in which writers from around the world gather together in an attempt to write a full-length novel in the span of 1 month. The goal of NaNoWriMo is to write 50,000 words over the course of November, which, if you break that down, that comes around to approximately 1,600 words per day. So it is a Herculean task, to say the least. It is one of those challenges that I had attempted a couple years ago and didn't get very far into it, but now with starting the channel and kind of reinvigorating myself in my own personal writing, I figured now would be the best time to give it a go. I don't know if I'll be able to get to the full 50,000 words, but either way, I think this will be a very helpful exercise for me in completing the novel that I am currently working on. And if you go on the NaNoWriMo website, they will talk about how the month of October is Preptober, meaning that this is the month where you need to be drafting and preparing to write a full-length novel in the month of November. So in this video, I'll be talking about what kind of novel I'll be writing, how I'm planning on preparing to write the novel, as well as what this means for the channel in the coming month. So first off, the novel that I'll be writing for NaNoWriMo is a fantasy adventure novel set in a Middle East-inspired fantasy world. It's working with an idea that I've had for some time. The basic premise of the story is going to be following this prince who has lived in the city, hidden off from the rest of the world. When he suddenly learns that the rest of the world is in danger, he has to go on a great quest to save it. I know that that's very vague, but frankly, it's one of those ideas where it needs more time in the oven, it needs more time to be fleshed out. Plus, I don't want to give too many details away, because I tend to change a lot of stuff whenever I'm working on a project like this. But just so that you guys are aware of what kind of a story it is, I take heavy inspiration from stories like the Chronicles of Narnia, Lord of the Rings, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Star Wars. Those are probably my biggest inspirations in terms of writing stories. So I hope that gives you kind of an idea of the tone and the setting that I'm going for with this. So the biggest things that I need to get done in Preptober are working on the outline, working on the character profiles, and fleshing out the world building. For writing out the plot, I'm someone who tends to plot out the big story beats first and then kind of fill in the gaps as to how the characters get there. I've found in the past that when I've done overly detailed outlines, I tend to feel obligated to stick to those even if the story is demanding something else for that. So I've just found it more helpful to do more bullet point outlines rather than a complete breakdown of here's everything that's going to happen in each chapter. For character profiles, I like to use a model called Character Trees, which was developed by Film Crit Hulk over on his blog. And basically what it is it takes the characters and it breaks them down from the superficial details of what do they look like, what kind of personality traits do they have, all the way down to what are their core values, what are their needs, what are their desires. And I found the character tree model to be very helpful in terms of breaking down, okay, here's the role that this character is going to play in the story, here's what their arc is going to be. So that's what I use. And then for fleshing out world building in my novel, I take a very different approach because a lot of authors really like to heavily establish the world building at the beginning and then fill in the story with the characters. I'm kind of the opposite, where typically when I come up with a premise for a story, it's usually revolved around, okay, I want to have a story with this type of character. What kind of world would best service this kind of a character arc? So at the beginning of my prepping process, I tend to lay out some big details of, okay, here is the main setting, here is the main conflict, here's who the main heroes are, here's who the main villains are, and that sort of thing. And then the more finer nitty-gritty details of what are all the countries, what are all the different factions, what are all the different cultures, those are things that I tend to fill in along the way as I work through the writing process. I find that that style for me allows me a lot of space to be able to play around with the world as I kind of discover what the story is going to be and the direction that it is heading in. I don't like to write super hard lore right at the beginning, because then if later on I decide, you know what, I want a character to be able to do this, then I have to retcon what I've already previously established. So I like to allow myself a bit of wiggle room in terms of the kind of the world I build. That's not everyone's style. Some people really like having a very detailed world right at the beginning. No hate towards them. This is just my style. So what does all of this mean for the channel? Well, in short, over the course of the month of November, I probably won't be putting out any new book reviews or things related to that. Rather, I will continue to post videos that will focus on updating where I'm at in terms of completing NaNoWriMo. My goal is to write that 1,600 words a day, and so I will be posting videos regularly to update you guys on how it's going, to kind of chronicle my journey through the month of, okay, what kind of struggles did I face? How did I overcome those obstacles? What things did I do well? What things did I do not so well? And I want to do this as kind of a guide to myself so that I can look back on how NaNoWriMo went and learn from the things I did well as my mistakes. I also want this to be an encouragement out there to anyone who also wants to participate in this event. It's not something that you have to be very formal about. It's completely free to sign up on the website, and you don't even have to sign up on the website if you don't want to. It's just kind of a cool way for you to track your progress and for them to give you little participatory badges to congratulate you on how far you've made it. But if you've ever wanted to explore writing a novel, then I would encourage you to check out joining the National Novel Writing Month. Again, you don't have to write the full 50,000 words. That goal is just there as an incentive for you to write and an encouragement for, this is typically how long a full-length novel is. Here's what you should be shooting for. If you don't make it there, that's fine. The point of it is not to write a publisher-ready novel. That's not what this is about. This is about getting those ideas out there, getting that first draft hammered out. That way you have something to work with to go back and revise for future publishing opportunities. But anyway, this video was just meant to update you guys on what will be happening in the coming months, as well as hopefully get you excited to see my journey through National Novel Writing Month. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and comment down below if you've ever considered writing a novel and if you are planning on doing National Novel Writing Month this year. I would love to be able to connect with you guys who are also doing the event, and for us to kind of hold each other accountable on making sure that we are getting all of those words put down that we intend to. It is not an easy task, but it is one that I believe will be very rewarding in the long run. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you will stay tuned to see what comes of my journey through National Novel Writing Month. Thank you.